Hi, I'm Jay Burney, and welcome to our show, Keeping Connected. We're talking with birders and conservationists and colleagues and friends in the Niagara region of Western New York and Southern Ontario. Today we're talking with Bernadette Clabeaux, who is an assistant professor of biology at Medaille College and is also the director of the Western New York Raptor and Wildlife Care Incorporated. Hi, Bernie. One of the
Jay,
first things I always ask my professor friends is, how's teaching going this semester? It's a very challenging time during this
yes,
pandemic.
this has been one of the most challenging semesters, I think, in my entire academic career. It's been um, challenging but rewarding in the fact that you know, me and my colleagues have gained a lot of new skills using technology and doing these Zoom meetings with our students and we use Blackboard Ultra Collaborate, which is a platform that helps you connect with your students virtually. So we've been gaining all of these new skills. So I'm trying to look at it positively, but it's it's difficult. I miss being on campus and I miss my students. So it's hard, but we make the best of it.
It's tough on everybody, especially students. I know that everybody's just up and going crazy these days, but we'll get through it, and hopefully we'll have another semester next fall. Who knows?
Yeah.
Uh, let,
Yep.
let's talk a little bit about the Western New York Raptor and Wildlife Rehabilitation
Yes.
Care Center. Tell us about that. What do you do there?
Okay, so we started a nonprofit called Western New York Raptor and Wildlife Care in May 2019. So last year we were basically solidified as a group. And we dedicate our time to rehabilitation of injured local, usually native wildlife. And our ultimate hope is that we can rehabilitate them for release back into the environment from which they came, usually at the same location that they were found. We also dedicate time to education, so public awareness through social media or my courses. We will share stories about wildlife experiences and just try to get people interested in observing what they see in the wild. And if they notice anything injured, to bring it to a rehabilitator. Some people don't even know to do that or don't even know who to contact. There's lots of us out there, but we figured we we had enough experience. We start as a group and go from there.
Well, we'll make sure to put your website up so people will know how to reach you. Where are you located?
So we are a private home-based facility. So there's two different facility types, um, larger hospital settings, and then a lot of individuals are home-based. So we are a private facility, but we're located in Orchard Park. So we help a lot of individuals, community members in Hamburg, Orchard Park, Boston area, and the South Towns.
Are you still working during the pandemic?
Yes.
Getting much business?
Yes. So right now is bunny season. So we've got a lot of bunnies right now that we're rehabilitating. So we've got all age ranges. The other day we just had a 2-day-old rabbit come in, so very young, but was doing fine. I put him with some adopted siblings, and he seems to be doing better. Then today, someone else dropped off another, and we have an adult, relatively well juvenile, but he'll be released in a few days because he's ready to be released. He had a minor incident with a cat, and so he was with us maybe a week, and he has really no injuries other than the cat brought him in the house and of someone, and they brought him to us just to care for him. So he'll be released soon.
Cats can be killers. I know we all love cats. I've got cats, but they're one of the most predatory animals that are involved with humans. They're one of the biggest bird killers. So I'm sure you see a lot of injuries. I also know that you were planning on a fundraiser that was going to happen this week, and that's been postponed. Tell us about that, what your needs are, and how people can help you out.
Yeah, so our fundraiser was scheduled on May 9th at the Cove in Depew, but we are going to postpone it. We temporarily set the date for July 11th this year, 2020, but we may actually make that a virtual webinar that people can just enter for free and just get to know what our organization does. We'll have some information on it. We're leaning towards that. Jay Jean actually had that idea, and that was really helpful. So I think we may do that just to get the message out there and our name out there, and we can play it by ear. We'll have to with COVID. There's really nothing. We can't make a definite date. It's so frustrating.
I think it's a really good idea to do a virtual event. I mean, this is a great time. People are more or less captive audiences. They're looking for information, and the stuff you do is pretty fantastic. We'll make sure that we carry any of that on our Birds of Niagara website also.
Thank you.
Speaking of birds, I know I have a lot of friends that are looking for rehab opportunities all the time because they run into injured birds. So we're glad to meet you, glad to know where you are. This is also the beginning of Migratory Bird Week. Migratory Bird Day is this Saturday. What kind of experiences are you having with birds this spring or in general with rehabilitation?
So we last month, March, so March-ish, late March, there was a flurry of Cooper's hawks. We had two Coopers, and then what we is a sharp-shinned hawk, but I mean, it's kind of hard to tell between the two, but the one was a lot smaller than the other two. So we did have those come in. One Cooper's, though, was deceased on arrival, which is always very sad. The other one didn't make it overnight. And then the third one had to be euthanized because it had a fractured humerus, and that's what the veterinarian recommended we do, just because it was emaciated. There really wasn't much we could do with a wrap or resetting that bone. It was pretty bad break, and obviously birds need their wings to migrate and fly. So those were 3 raptors we had seen within a month or so. And it wasn't, so there's a lot of sad cases, obviously, but it wasn't to no avail. So like we did end up using 2 of them, and we have one also that's going to be used in education. So meaning we have a research project where if these animals do pass on, we can still utilize some of their tissues for a research project we're working on. We're analyzing heavy metals that are taken up by raptors in particular to see what concentration is in their different tissue types. Like, do they accumulate it in their liver, their kidneys, different organs, their skeletal muscle, like their pectoral muscle? Where are they putting this? Obviously, we're thinking liver and kidneys since they filter the blood and likely the contaminants. So we were able to use the 2 Coopers in the laboratory setting at Medaille College, and we got students involved in that project where they help us. So we teach them about how to identify the species, what the species is, and then they're able to help us perform necropsies, see what the cause of death might have been, and collect sample tissues for our research project that is on hold right now because of COVID, but will be continued in the future. So it's, at least things are being utilized despite their sad story.
It's so important to do that kind of work, and migratory birds especially travel long distances. And I don't know, can you ever identify the sources? I mean, you can identify the heavy metals. Do you ever have a chance to say, well, this came from this place, or is it just generic?
We have been keeping track. So when we are collecting our specimens, we are keeping track of the county or the area that they are coming from, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the contamination was. Sure. But it may provide some light into things, particularly if we're talking about resident species, resident birds. If they have, if they're from a particular area and we see a concentration of certain metals or contaminants, then we know, oh, okay, maybe we can look into that a little more, or just see why those contaminants are there, or maybe, just that kind of thing. Migratory birds, it's a little more difficult to tell where those contaminants lie and where they're coming from. So
sure. I mean, we have birds here in Western New York that come from South America, the Amazon, Central America, the Pacific
right.
Northwest, even the Arctic. So in general, are the conditions of birds that you test, are they good, or are they full of contaminants?
Well, we just started that project. I believe right now most are low on the contaminant level, but we still have to process the samples and analyze that data. So we're just in the collection phase. We haven't actually had the chemical analysis done yet. That's going to be hopefully within a year or two, we'll have that data collected and analyzed. Depends with COVID and funding. Funding's really hard. We don't have a research grant, and so we may need some college support or personal support on my end to help fund my own research project. But we'll make it work, and this is important data that we need, and we feel passionately about it. We want to collect it and get it analyzed and get it out there.
Well, it's really critical work. I mean, we know that endangered species like the bald eagle, the contamination that was discovered in them, we're able to fix that. Mm-hmm. And so birds everywhere are in tough shape and having trouble. And knowing about these contamination levels and knowing what they are is so important. So I really appreciate that you're doing that. Now, on a personal note, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to get out and do any birding lately. The spring migration is just starting. You seeing anything?
We have. So my husband and I have been taking a lot of walks and going to different locations. We we went to Franklin Golf Park in Eden. We went to Sprague Park recently, and that was just beautiful. Regarding migratory birds, we've seen a lot of different kinds of sparrows. We have the song sparrows back. We have some property, so we have song sparrows here. We've got a lot of different warblers that we see and hear. So they are coming back. But what was the interesting one recently that I was real excited about was the short-eared owl on the harbor, I think, that was spotted. We went down to try and see him. We brought our binoculars, our cameras, and everything, but we didn't see him. Someone had said a crow had scared him away. But we do get out and we try, to see these exciting birds. We love it.
I think that short-eared owl was seen at the Union Ship Canal, which is a fantastic area that isn't really protected. It's an industrial park. Who knows what the future is, but it's a beautiful grasslands along Lake Erie, and there's so many great grassland birds that are seen there. So this is May 5th. We're taping this May 5th, and already the last couple of days we're having reports of ruby-throated hummingbirds, certainly Baltimore orioles, and a summer tanager was seen at Forest Lawn recently. So they're here, they're coming, and it's just a great time of the year for people that love warblers.
Yes.
So
it is exciting to get the cameras out and get your binoculars ready. It is exciting especially when you see a bird for the first time you've never seen before. It's like I saw a scarlet tanager last year. I saw a bright red bird and I was like, oh, it's got to be a cardinal. It was in the forest in the back, and I was like, oh my God, it's a scarlet tanager. And it was the first time I'd ever seen one. I was just so excited trying to get my camera out, and I couldn't grab a good picture of them, but it was just really exciting to have that experience.
Well, let's hope that they don't make it to your rehab center, but if you find an injured bird, get in touch with Bernie. I think we're about ready to wrap up. Is there anything you want to add to this conversation?
Oh, I just would, wanted to thank you. I think this is a wonderful idea for, to get people together and to try and make kind of some normalcy during this time. I think it's great to just interview people like this and see what they're doing in the Western New York community and help get everyone's name out there. I think it's really important. So thank you so much for what you do.
Well, thank you, and look forward to seeing you in person again sometime soon.
Yes, definitely soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed.